Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We got some weekly Q&A action here, and I don't have any build-up for you, so let's just get into it and see how everybody's doing. I got all these pop-ups now. Facebook. All right. Sharika asks, anyone else facing conversion tracking issues lately? I did confirm the domain 8 events set for iOS 14 update, but it seems the conversions aren't being tracked properly. Sharik, I've had some conversion problems tracking as well. I've spoken to a lot of people. iOS 14 seems to be fucking with us all. So it's not just you. What I do is have my team manually send me reports from the back end of like our autoresponder and stuff just to match up. It's not perfect. But I suggest you do something like that. Abel, just had a Facebook Business Manager disabled that had all my clients, and Facebook denied my request. My team and I never violated any policies. Anyway, around this, Abel, welcome to the club where Facebook bans you, doesn't tell you what you did wrong, and no explanation. I would say there's a couple of things. One, obviously, just keep appealing it, especially if you didn't do anything wrong, like state your case, be kind. Secondly, long term, you always, and this is not just related to Facebook, this is a deeper principle. The goal of Facebook traffic is to take people off of Facebook. So you don't want to be stuck with all your Facebook traffic stuck on Facebook. And then the third thing is, by the way, is to just go on other platforms. But the biggest thing that I think people make the mistake of is thinking that any platform is going to be around forever, whether they ban you or not. There's different reasons why platforms don't last forever. I've been doing this since 2007. It's not the first time I've seen it. I've seen people get pinched out of Google for getting banned or because it just got too expensive in their niche. That's why you always want to convert it into traffic. You control your own list. But yeah, it's never fun when that happens. I definitely empathize with you. Barry, who do you like for hosting? I see SiteGround Grow Big is now only 5 websites. I use DreamHost. It's probably, I honestly don't know if they're the best. I used to use HostGator for a lot of years, but in the beginning they were freaking like the coolest, most amazing company, but as they've grown, it's gotten slower and the service has gotten worse. I kind of just did some digging around Reddit and seen a lot of people like DreamHost, so I'm using them. I'm happy. I don't know. If you're interested, I can send you some more details. Mag, how much do you charge for Google Ad Management for your client? Mag, it depends who you're running ads for and what you're doing for them. You know, the more specialized knowledge and the better results you bring, the more money you're going to make. This is, if you've been following me on YouTube, you've seen me mention something called the nickel and the $100 bill client. If you're bringing people nickels, then your AdWords management is going to be, your fee is going to be a lot smaller. If you're bringing people like low-end clients, the cheap version, which most people do, they treat it like all leads and all business is equal, which they're most definitely not. But if you're bringing people, expensive deals, you're going to get just more for it. Cassia, how to target 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs on Facebook. Cassia, this is actually a question where the answer is implied, and that's part of the assumption that's probably keeping you stuck on a little bit. It is, you don't necessarily target 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs on Facebook. You can do things to like kind of aim in that general direction, but it has more to do with how you call them out. I'll give you an example. There's a tax in the United States. I forget the name of it, like EET or something like that. I'm probably way off. I forget the acronym. But if you say to somebody, did you have to pay too much in EET tax, pretend that's the actual label, then the only people who are going to respond to that are people who actually had to pay it, and for everybody else it just goes right over their head. So what most people do wrong is they think you can just target all the rich people, but actually you got to target them by symptoms. So like, for example, if I run an ad that says to lawyers that, hey, our TV case is costing you too much money, like over $1,000 per signed case, then I'm going to get the rich lawyers to raise their hand. But it's more because I'm calling them out by the symptoms. So think about the symptoms, the 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs, and you want to kind of think about them as like, your ad is like the bouncer at a nightclub. Make sure it only speaks to the 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs. And that will have more of an effect than actually just targeting alone. Nasser, where to find your dream clients? Nasser, that's a loaded question because it depends on who your dream clients are. I'll give you the short version. What's helped me is 80% of a dream client is their attitude. So you want to look for people who are like thankful, easygoing, clear about what they want, those kind of things. 20% of it is their situation. That's the part that only you can figure out. And the best thing to do is just figure out who you've helped already and what you really enjoyed working with them. And then what you'll find is just, make more, intentionally create more of those people. Herr Gergi, my good friend Aurel, I wonder how often you, dear lovely reader, as the agency owner, has personal contact with the clients over calls and meetings, and how much communication is happening at all. My current main problem is there are too much calls in my calendar and too much mails in my inbox. What absorbs too much of my time and energy? The calendar looks finger pointer as a bunch of aerial bombs would have fallen into it. Every yellow or orange thing is a call. I'll tell you, or we've talked a little bit about this on the mastermind, but for the sake of everybody else who's never been through this, there's a really good book called Upstream. And Upstream talks about how if you have a recurring problem that's happening again and again, it's always, always, always not happening at the symptom level you're experiencing of too many meetings, but it's happening upstream. And I'll tell you what's helped me a lot to deal with too many meetings is, again, is like that framework you set an expectation. And this is a phrase that is so powerful when you begin onboarding a client and you set those expectations, is saying, here's how I work. Memorize this phrase, here's how I work. Because what you can do is set it up, and this is how we set it up in our agency, is I'll say, here's how I work. I'm going to send you a video every Friday with an update of what's going on. And the benefit of doing it that way is I can summarize everything that's going on in 2 minutes, and I can communicate with like 100 clients in like 2 hours. So I can go through all my client communication in 2 hours on a Friday and send it out. What most people do is they're reactive and they wait for clients to say, okay, I want a meeting to talk to you about all those things. And usually if you're in that kind of relationship where you and the client are just kind of having like long drawn out meetings and talking a lot, it's probably a little too late. You can be honest with them and just say, like, I'm really swamped in meetings. Do you think, and here's another thing, by the way, that'll help you with that is just saying beforehand, saying, hey, I want to best prepare for our meeting because I really value your time and I want it to be as efficient as possible. Like, what do you want to discuss so I can have everything ready? And what you'll find is the meetings will be more on point and less like just long-winded, like take up your time. Because, like, you're a cool dude. The clients are going to want to talk to you, right? So, but if you're not careful, the minute you have 40 clients, you can spend all day at meetings. So the way to deal with that is before they happen, but if it's already happening, just do more of the, hey, I'd like to prepare for this meeting, tell me what it's about, and then show up and stay on point with that, because otherwise you're going to just end up drowning in meetings. Keith. Hey y'all, quick question. Do people ever ask about charging for commission per sale? I have not had to do this type of transaction, but I am not excited about it. Any thoughts on structuring commission-based deals? Is it worth it? Keith, we talked a little bit about this on our little workshop, I think. Yes, commission-based deals can actually be awesome. Not just like good, but actually way better than retainer stuff, especially if you like are working with customer lists and things like that, where you're not trying to generate them new business, or if they already have a working offer and you're just helping to multiply it. I'll tell you the big mistake is don't get into a commission-based deal with just anyone. Often it's clients who've been burned and therefore they're like, like, show me results, then I'll pay you. But the problem is often their own worst enemy. They may not answer the phone, or they may not do right by people. There's a lot of reasons why those commission-based deals. So if you're interested, I have a criteria. I don't have it memorized, but of 6 things we look for in commission-based deals. But choose those relationships very, very carefully. But if you do that, they actually are way, way better. But don't do it just because a client's been burned and is therefore saying, like, I've been burned, therefore, prove it to me, because those people don't make good clients. If they're coming into it negative, I like to say, as the saying goes, hoping for the best but expecting the worst. When they're expecting the worst from you, those are not good relationships. That's very different. You want to think about the commission-based deals, if you do them at all, which you don't need to, but if you do, you want to think about them like I compare it to having a hand of poker, where they have the ace of spades and they have the king of spades and they have the queen of spades and they have the 10 of spades, and you're just showing up with the jack of spades to complete what they're doing and adding to what they're doing. What you do not want to do is be the one bringing all the cards and building somebody's business from scratch and then taking a commission. So I'll give you an example. We tried this a lot with roofers in the beginning, where we would do all these commission-based deals, and some of these guys, I literally just couldn't give them money. They were so bad at answering the phone, and I remember Dan in our group, Dan Crystal, like does a lot of like commission-based deals with roofers, but he works with roofers who have 10, 20, 30 locations and teams and crews and people who answer the phone, and they have quotes and they have follow-up and they have sales teams, and they're professional and they have branding and they have, something that differentiates them from the competition, and they're just professional people, right? So that's a good commission partner. But if you're just going to do it with like any old roofer in his niche, you're just going to lose with that. So make sure you choose those people really carefully. But again, you don't have to. Usually when clients are saying that, hey, give me a commission-based deal, they're not good clients. They're usually only good deals when you're the one promoting the commission-based thing. So hope that's helpful to you. It sounds like in your case you should just pass on that client and stick with the retainer stuff, at least for the time being. So that's all I got for you guys. Gonna go hang with my little monsters, and we might go out, head down to the beach today after I set up some systems and processes, living the dream. If you're not already following on YouTube, get on YouTube, because we're throwing up the replays there and some other cool stuff.